And I know that we face dark times, but we must pray for our church and for your Mother Superior and hope to free them from this madness.
Let's take you back in time. Time Life presents the 80s collection. The ultimate smash hits of a spectacular decade. Start your 80s collection now with super hits on 2 CDs for just $9.99. That's a saving of £6 off our regular price. Order by credit card and you'll also receive this double CD absolutely free. That's 4 CDs for only $9.99. Relive the spirit of the 80s with Nick Kershaw. Wham! Culture Club and many more. Enjoy over 2 hours of the chart-breaking hits that you love to hear. Then audition other double albums from the 80s collection with no obligation to buy. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. 30 super hits of the 80s on 2 CDs. Call the number on your screen to start your 80s collection with super hits for just $9.99. Order by credit card and you'll receive this free bonus CD. That's 54 hits on 4 CDs for just $9.99. Call now or order online at timelife.co.uk.
On y va?
Yeah.
Sexual purity is the apex of my spirit.
New Vanish Oxy Action, remove before your very eyes. Oxygen bubbles are released, powering their way through the fibres. It tackles tough stains like fruit juice. Just 1 scoop of Vanish Oxy Action in your wash and look what happens. The stain's gone. Mix up a solution and just watch stains disappear. You can also use it to soak. Just 1 scoop in every wash. Boost the power of your detergent. Vanish Oxy Action. Put it to the challenge.
For the first time, the stories of the world's greatest book are brought to life in one timeless collection on video and DVD. Time Life presents the Bible. Start your collection by following one man who has changed the world like no other, Jesus. Experience the drama, the intrigue, the joy and pain of this epic production starring Gary Oldman, Jacqueline Bisset and Jeremy Sisto. Learn about his life, the miracles he performed, his death, and the giving of his life to save mankind. Start your Bible collection by calling the number on your screen now to order your first title, Jesus on DVD. But that's not all. Pay by credit card and you'll also receive a bonus DVD, Moses, absolutely free. starring the Academy Award-winning Ben Kingsley as Moses in this awe-inspiring tale of an ordinary man called upon by God to become a great leader.
The Lord God of Israel bids you, let his people go.
In this special TV offer, you'll get 2 DVDs and over 6 hours of epic film for just $9.99. Then preview other titles in this unique collection with no obligation to buy. Starring Paul Mercurio in Joseph, Richard Harris as Abraham, and watch Dennis Hopper, Dame Dinah Rigg, and Liz Hurley in Samson and Delilah, the powerful tale of a deception that brought down an empire.
If I told you the truth, you could not test me. To test me is to destroy me.
Start your Bible collection with Jesus for the special price of $9.99. Pay by credit card and you'll also receive a bonus DVD, Moses, absolutely free. That's 2 epic films for just $9.99. Call the number on your screen now or order online at timelife.co.uk.
New Blockbuster Online will deliver all your DVDs to your door for a single monthly fee. It's like having the UK's biggest rental store in your own home. Blockbuster, bringing entertainment home. Log on now and your first month's rentals are free.
He's here. For you. Jeepers Creepers 2 on DVD and video.
We need help right away.
Get your claws into it now.
Coming up next on the Horror Channel, The Invisible Ghost.
Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never coming around. I'm not alone.
Time Live Music brings you The Power of Love. 24 sensual hits by original artists. Get The Power of Love, 24 sensual songs on 2 CDs for the great price of $14.99. And when you pay by credit card, you'll receive a second double CD, Breathless, absolutely free. You'll enjoy artists like Cyndi Lauper, Rod Stewart, Mr. and many more. But that's not all. Call and we'll cut £6 off our regular price. Pay by credit card and you'll also receive a second double CD free. That's 2 double CDs for only $8.99. Then audition other Power of Love albums with no obligation to buy. Remember, The Power of Love is not sold in shops. It's only available from Time Life. Call the number on your screen now to start your Power of Love collection for only $8.99. Pay by credit card and you'll receive a second double CD absolutely free. That's almost £30 value for only $8.99. Call now or order online at timelife.co.uk.
How long can you wait? Well, this man, who studied waiting in Stuttgart for 7 years and had to wait for 3 years before he started the course, so he knows waiting. No. I think for this young man, there's... Oh, cooey.
Yes! He's down! He's down! Fat pigeon! Apple!
You know when you've been tangoed.
Green King IPA. Could you say no to another?
The Horror Channel, in conjunction with Anchor Bay Entertainment, offers you the chance to win a collection of DVDs and a DVD player. The DVDs are The Hills Have Eyes, The Hills Have Eyes 2, The Amicus box set, The Last House on the Left, and the Evil Dead Trilogy box set. All DVDs are courtesy of Anchor Bay and are available to buy now. All you have to do to win is answer a simple question. What was the first film shown on the Horror Channel? Was it A, The Burbs, B, The Ghoul, C, The Alamo? If you think you know the answer, ring 0901 533 3328 and leave your name and contact details. The winner will be drawn at random and will be notified. Full details of the competition, along with terms and conditions, are available on our website, www.thehorrorchannel.tv. Calls are charged at £1 per minute. Please obtain the permission of the bill payer before making your call.
A murder in a small town.
The body of a case.
Last time nobody cared. Everybody just turned and looked the other way.
What do you mean the last time? I cannot help you at all unless you tell me everything.
A town in the grip of fear, shrouded in lies.
You want to learn about hate? You want to learn about this town? You start there.
Solving the murder was just the beginning.
Who is it?
Police, Mrs. Campbell.
Oh, so glad to see you guys. Please come in.
Officers, glad to see you get here so quickly. I'm Bill Campbell. Sure. Met my wife, Becky. Guys, have a seat.
Now, tell me exactly what was written on your door.
Well, it said, Becky, why did you do this to me?
Any idea what that might mean?
No, not really.
How about in the past? Someone holding a grudge against either one of you? Come on, folks. Let's have it. We can't help you unless you give us something to work with.
Look, I really don't think this has anything to do with what happened.
Why don't you tell us? Let us decide if there's any connection.
Becky, it's time. Go get the letters, please. But if it is him, we got Zach and Kelly's safety to think of, too.
That's right.
My God. Nobody knows this, but Henry, the crash, he used to be in love with Becky back in high school. She knew he liked her, but she's serious. She tried to explain she could be his friend, but it couldn't be anything more than that.
Here, the letters. I don't even know why.
Thank you. Wow. Sounds like this guy's totally bonkers over you.
Yeah, I guess he was. I mean, I didn't really go out with him except for the night of his party. Not even really then. He was passed out in his room all night.
That's where we met at Henry's party. I took Becky home that night.
Listen to this, Jimmy. He wrote, I can't believe that the only person I thought I could trust has lied to me too. Becky, why did you do this? Signed, The Crash. Are all the letters signed this way?
No, only that one. He signed his real name to all the others. It was him that did this. I mean, I thought the paper said he was going to be locked up in a special room at his parents' house. How could this happen?
We don't know who did this, but we'll find out, and we'll do everything in our power to ensure your family's safety.
Mr. and Mrs. Campbell, if you don't mind, we'd like to take these letters with us.
Sure. You can have them all. Keep them or get rid of them. I don't want them around here anymore.
Now showing on the Horror Channel.
Anybody home? Anybody home? Please say yes, somebody's home. Hello in there. Hello. Hello.
I caught a big fat bug right in my spider web. And now the spider gets to give the bug a big sting.
We are not responsible for your nightmares when you watch. Now showing on the Horror Channel.
The biggest names in comedy. Mark Lawrence, Chris Tucker, Jamie Foxx are in the house. Chris Rock, D.L. Hughes, Steve Harvey. On stage, Bill Bellamy, Cedric the Entertainer, and more are coming to you uncut, uncensored, and bam! Def Comedy Jam has never been available in the UK to own on DVD or video.
Make some noise. We in the house.
Came to Def Jam, huh?
But now you can own this sensational hit series that has sold over 2 million copies in the USA.
See, I'm a single mother. I don't know where the daddy is. That's why I keep watching America's Most Wanted.
You don't understand. Yes, we do understand. Order online for this exclusive offer and get the first volume of Def Comedy Jam for the special price of only $8.99.
We're gonna do black stuff this week, honey.
Boom!
That ain't all, man.
That's right. And when you pay by credit card, we'll send you 2 Raw for TV absolutely free. We're back. Outrageous Def Comedy Jam performances that were so hot, they couldn't even be shown on US TV.
I'm blessed.
Then every month, preview another Best of the Def Comedy Jam, bringing you killer performances from today's comedy legends.
Pow, pow, pow.
I feel real good, boy. Keep only the ones you want.
Do you trust me?
Woo! Cancel anytime. Woo! Who is it? Who rang the bell?
Hey, watch this part. This is the good part right here, yo.
I said, oh yeah, oh yeah.
We're gonna keep doing this.
Hey, hey. The best of Def Comedy Jam. Fresh. Live. Frenzy. Get your copy of Def Comedy Jam on DVD or VHS right here, right now for only £8.99. Remember, use your credit card and we'll send you 2 Raw for TV absolutely free. Call now or order online at timelife.co.uk.
On y va?
Yeah.
My father was in the motor business, actually. He was the chairman of a motor company. Neither of my parents had anything to do with show business. I lived in Stanmore, Middlesex, suburbia, I guess you'd call it, and a very nice house. And I went to St Hilda's Girls' School, where I started elocution lessons, and then started going in for some speaking festivals and things, and that's where I suddenly found my bent for wanting to act. And it all really materialised from there. My father was very, very encouraging because I think he was a little bit in love with show business, if the truth were known. My mother certainly wasn't, but my father was. And it's from that I went to Ada Foster and got a place there in Golders Green, her school in Golders Green, and that's how it all started. But my father had somebody working in his office who actually was the brother of Ernest Maxim, who was the television producer, who happened to be producing the Kathy Kirby shows. And my father said, oh, my daughter loves, all this show business. Can we come and sit in the audience? Which is what we did. And then Ernest Maxim shone the camera on me and introduced me, which was extremely nice of him. I don't quite know why he did that. And then I went for an interview for a part in a Dick Emery series. And from that, he also got me an interview. I got an interview for Ada Foster Stage School, and I was accepted for that. And I also got the part in the Dick Emery series. And it all sort of came about through Ernest Maxim. And that's, the beginning of it, I suppose you would say. And I went on to do 3 months with this Dick Emery series, which was terrific training so early on in a stage school career. I went on an audition. There were many hundreds auditioned for this part. They were very much the cult movies of the time, the sex and infect type movies, and this was a particularly good one, or particularly good part, should I say. And I went along and met Michael Klinger, Guido Cohen, the original director called Henri Safran. It wasn't Alistair Reed who ended up directing it, who is a Frenchman. And I went along and auditioned, and I screen tested at Twickenham Studios. For a day they did all these screen tests, myself and 2 other girls, and I learnt by that evening that I got the part. It was confirmed the following day. Before we made the film, there was a vast change in policy because they wanted to change the director, and they called in, thank goodness, Alistair Reed, who was a fabulous director. And I mean, I'm very glad now when I think back at it that Alistair Reed was. I don't think Baby Love would have had as good a press or any of the notoriety it had without Alistair Reed. He was terrific. Baby Love was about a young girl whose mother, the beginning shots of the film were Diana Dawes, who actually had had a real lull in her career in 1960. We made a film in 67. and 68, sorry, and she actually had not been around for some time, and the producer, Michael Klinger, knew Diana Dawes and said, look, I'd love you to do us, not a favour, she was paid for it, but she, you know, it was something she wouldn't have done in previous years, and it was the opening shots of the movie, and she was making herself up and everything, and you sort of wonder what it was all leading to, this sort of heavy music over it, and basically she was preparing herself to commit suicide. She was making herself up and in the bath, and she commits suicide, takes pills, and the next shot is the young girl coming home from school to a totally dilapidated house. Obviously no care had been taken, the kitchen, the food everywhere, and dirty clothes. And this is the character I play, Lucy, and she comes in, opens the bathroom door to find her mother dead in the bath, and that is the beginning of Baby Love. And I then play all the way through her ex-boyfriend, who she knew years previously. We're never quite sure if it's Lucy's father or not. He is called back by Diana Dawes. She'd written him a letter and said, please take care of Lucy. And then I go back to London with him, to Hampton Court, where he is a doctor, married, very happily married to Amy, and has a son. And I then go about destroying the whole household, purely to get vengeance for my mother. And it is just a series of events. It's very cleverly done. It's quite a dated film now, but at the time it was you know, very popular and very good, and was shown on television quite a lot. 15 years after it was made, it is not shown quite as much these days. It's not like horror movies that don't date so much. I think these films do tend to date a little. But that was the character of Lucy, so it was a real, you know, a meaty part to get your teeth into at the age of 15, which is what I was when I made it. I was a little bit cosseted, actually, because Michael Klinger, Guido Cohen, Alistair Reed was then living with and eventually married Jenny, who was his PA, and then he married, and they sort of costed me a little. I was sort of the baby of the outfit, and I went through every facet of Baby Love. John Glenn, who edited it, I ended up going to the editing room with him and seeing how he did it. I sort of became part of every bit. I was there every day, even if I wasn't filming, and it was lovely. So I was a bit cosseted, but after we made the film, it was quite a long time before Michael Klinger sold it to release it. He made up his mind he was going to go big and sell it to America and everything. So they wouldn't let me do anything when I finished Baby Love because I was under contract to Michael Klinger. My agent, Ada Foster, so I went to the Ada Foster School, was up in arms because quite obviously there was a lot of interest in me at the time. I was being offered stuff, and there was this huge battle between Michael Klinger and Ada Foster, and I was caught in the middle. And my father, who didn't want to upset Michael Klinger, got on great with him, and you know, thought this Baby Love was going to be revolutionise my career, and he sort of went along with it, and I was really caught in the middle, which was a shame because I think, in retrospect, I could have done a lot more work in the interim because by the time Michael sold the film and it came out, it was almost 18 months. And I did do one more film in that time. I did Taste of Blood of Dracula, which was great because it was a totally different type of film, according to Michael, and he didn't want anything to clash with Baby Love and the content of Baby Love. So I think, you know, all the publicity in the media that went with Baby Love was, at the time, wonderful because that was the thing, virtually the only thing I was doing. Peter Sasdy, I don't remember auditioning for that. I think they asked me to do that one because Baby Love was just due to come out, and I was in very exalted company when Watford was in it. John Carson, Geoffrey Keane, some very good, solid character English actors and actresses. Isla Blair, Christopher Lee, obviously, and lovely Ralph Bates was in it, who tragically died some years ago. And it was I hadn't been. It wasn't quite the same as Baby Love. We went in and rehearsed it first, and had a read through, and it was a very good film to be in, a very solid film to be in, and totally different, as I say, to Baby Love. But Peter Sasdy asked me to do that, which was nice. I played Alice Hargood, and I was the daughter of Geoffrey Keane and Gwen Watford. And my boyfriend, in the beginning of it, you see that they want to run off together. And basically the father doesn't approve of that. When he tries to come in the bedroom window to run me off into the sunset or whatever, he actually attacks me, my father, and goes for me. And what it is saying is the fact that they're totally hypocritical all the Victorian men of that era, because there they are, not condoning anything that should be just a little bit not seen to be right in the face of the public eye, and yet there they are going off to brothels at night and having their way with all these women when their poor wives are sitting at home. I mean, it's just showing, I suppose, the hypocritical bent of the Victorian era, I think is what it's really saying. And in the meantime, of course, Dracula creeps into it all, and I am lured into under Dracula's spell. They were looking for a new Dracula at that time. That's exactly what they were doing. And I think that's probably why they then wrote the Ralph Bates, that he was the one who instigated the brothels, and he sort of got this black magic, cult going, and then they decided against that. And of course, quite soon after that anyway, I mean, was there one more Christopher Lee Dracula after that? 2 more. And then Hammer stopped making them anyway, so, it was academic whether they had a new Dracula or not. But that was the case, yes, Ralph Bates was the new blood. Well, I think all those Hammer horror films are very much of, in a way they are, but they're dated, but they're not dated, because they're always watchable. I mean, they were tongue-in-cheek films. They were always made as such. And if they weren't, it certainly comes across as such. And because they had such good I mean, look at Roy Kinnear. I mean, you're talking about the cream of the English actors, not even comedy actors. I mean, he was wonderful in it. And I mean, all these people were so good, but it wasn't seen as a crime to do a Hammer horror. I mean, everyone was very happy to do it. It's a bit like when years later, or actually probably at the time, Laurence Olivier decided he was going to do an advert. I mean, previously no actor would think of doing a commercial, and once he did it, it sort of opened the floodgates, and I was, fine. So Laurence Olivier can do it, we can all do it. And I think with the Dracula films all the way through, if you look right back, and the Hammer films, they always got a really good calibre of actor in. So I think it will be seen to be a good one for the archives. Blood of Satan's Claw, I think I was on a short list for that. I was quite sort of hot at the time, so I think I was very much up in the front runners. And I met Piers Haggard. And I think when I went for it, I thought, oh, yeah, another horror film. But when I met Piers Haggard, I just immediately thought, it was just his passion and telling about it and everything. I thought, oh, this sounds rather interesting. Which indeed was the case, because when we filmed it, every scene of the film, I mean, he really thought about it and really knew what he wanted from this film. And it was not in any way the set piece that the Hammer films were. What was written in the script was very much what materialised on the day. It stuck to the script, but he had his own ideas, and he created them on the set, and we all went with it. Again, some good actors and actresses in it, and I was really thrilled to get that. I mean, as we were filming, it was a very exciting film to make, and we made it all on location. Well, a few days in Pinewood Studios, but mostly on location. And I have to say that when we saw the finished product, it was really quite exciting. It was the 3rd film I made, and even though I was still under contract for Michael, that 18-month period had passed, and Baby Love obviously been out, and I was doing things for other people, but he did get quite... Well, he did at one point, I think, even try to stop me doing it, because he and Tony Tenser had been partners for years, and they had fallen out quite badly. And they were both a couple of characters, terrific characters. Michael Kliger in particular was a wonderful character. And he was not best pleased I did it, but he didn't stop me doing it in the end. And I've got on fine with Tony Tenser, but I never had the same relationship with him that I did with Michael. And I think Tony Tenser might have felt it was a bit of a one-up, getting Michael's Baby Love star in his film. But it all worked out fine in the end, but there was a little bit of a rivalry there. There was a wonderful pop song at the time called "Give Me That Ding, Give Me That, Give Me That, Give Me That Ding," and Tony Tenser used to start it. They used to sing it. This poor bloke who it was actually filmed during the April and May, and it was quite warm, and he had to wear this devil's costume. He was quite, he was quite small and quite short, but it was so hot to wear, and sometimes he had it on all day because he didn't know, and taking it off and putting it on again. And he was so hot, and he had to be under this sort of cloak. And we used to sing this song to him. I'm not sure how well it went down, but he couldn't do anything about it because he had a ghastly claw thing that came out. So we used to sort of sing him along with this ditty. Patrick Wymart was he's a lovely man to work with. He was around quite a lot on the movie. I mean, as I say, it was all on location, so it was a case of ferrying people backwards and forwards. So you know, we didn't need him for days. He wouldn't be hanging around, which is quite nice. But he was charming. I mean, very, very solid and very strong on the part. I didn't have that much filming with him, obviously, because none of my scenes involved being with him. And but he was lovely when he was there. He was one of the chaps, and we all sat together and had our lunch or whatever was going on location. But he was great, and it was very, very sad that so soon after this film he died. He, it was quite a shock. And in fact, it was before the film came out, so it was, when the film did actually come out, it made it even more poignant. It was received very well in America. It got wonderful reviews in America. I mean, I did get a brilliant review from the New York Times for that, which I have to say I was rather proud of. And it seems to have been the one that was taken rather seriously, and not ridiculed too much. I mean, our cult horror movie fans seeing me say this would go mad, say that anything should be ridiculed. But, the horror cult is something that not everybody shares. But nevertheless, it seems to be the one that hasn't sort of, had too much, it hasn't been pulled apart too much and, as I say, ridiculed in any way. And I think it's because of that and, the good performances in it. It said something, that film, I think. And a very good friend of mine at the time, a very good friend, and I got a great one with John Trevelyan, who was a terrific character. And, quite often at first nights of things, I was rowed out as the star of Baby Love, and we often used to sit down and have a drink. And he was a lovely man. He was ever so sweet. He got on very well with my dad, actually. I sat down in a corner of the two of them one night. We couldn't separate them. They were having a real old chinwag. But he was a lovely man, and he was the last film censor, and he was very. He was on a bit of a hiding to nothing, really, because things were going on around him, and he was sort of trying to hold on to that string of censorship. But everybody, all of this nudity was going on very much at the time, and I know a lot of it was put on for the sake of it. I mean, there was no question about it. I mean, had they seen what was going to happen in 30 years' time, I don't know what they would have done. They would have come up with all sorts of things then, but they just about got away with the odd nude scene. And Madhouse, yes, that was an interesting movie. That was a movie I did with Vincent Price and Peter Cushing, and it was a fun movie to make. Peter Cushing was a charming man, ever such a gentleman. I didn't have actually any scenes with Peter Cushing, but I did with Vincent Price, and he did make me laugh. The one scene we did when he has to come onto an ocean liner, has to walk into my bedroom, and I have to be lying on a bed. I think I was asleep. And they decided they wanted to make me rather busty. They wanted to give me a cleavage. And I've never been over and down in that department. And they were doing some Vincent Price about me on the set 1 hour. By the next hour, my cleavage had increased by goodness knows how many inches. And by the time I was lying on the bed, he said, "My God, what are they doing? Get a bicycle pumped?" I mean, he was so sweet. He sort of stopped the shot and cracked everybody up. He was just a great character. And he was fun. He was so much larger than life. And he was tall and rather foreboding, a bit like Christopher Lee, but he had a great sense of humour. And he'd been around a long time. I mean, he was one of the movie horror greats. And it was a real privilege to work with him. I didn't have that much to do with Peter Cushing, but as I say, I met him on the set several times. And Christopher Lee, Vincent Price was a terrific character. I mean, you know when you meet people in the business and they always stick in your mind. I mean, he was a real laugh, great character, as I'm sure a lot of people will tell you as well. Vampira, people say different pronunciations, but actually it was a spoof on Dracula. And David Niven Jr., David Niven's son, was the producer with a man called Jack Weiner. And I was interviewed for one. I didn't even really know which part I was interviewed for. And in fact, I think they interviewed a lot of girls for all the parts, a lot of actresses, and then decided, when they wanted the actresses, which parts they would play. And Bernard Bresslaw was in it. He was great. Nicky Henson was in it. And it was a real send-up. And we filmed it at Pinewood Studios. And it was over a course of about 7 or 8 weeks. And I was actually only on a couple of weeks of the filming. But I did come back during the filming to see them several times because it was just such a fun cast. But all the girls, there was an amazing character called Minor Bird playing one of the parts. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us, but she was John Bentley's girlfriend. I mean, there were some weird people in it. Veronica Carlson was in it. Jenny Linden was in it. Some good people, but all from different sort of spheres of the business. And of course, the inimitable David Niven, who is just, again, a great privilege to work with someone like that. And we all had to have fang fittings for the part, because all the people, I was a vampire in it, David Niven. And we all had to have these fang fittings if we played the vampires. And we went to this wonderful guy called Dr. Peter Glazebrook, I think his name was. He used to do fang fittings. That's what he did. I mean, a lot of things for movies. And it was just quite hysterical sitting in a dentist chair, being fitted for fangs. And I do remember thinking, why the hell didn't I keep those? I would love to have kept them as sort of a souvenir. And David Niven and I used to have photos taken with these big fangs and him biting into my neck. And he was actually a terrific character to work with. I think because there is a great horror movie following. I mean, I'm always being asked to conventions and, festivals all over the place. And I don't think that things like Baby Love and everything do travel as well. They do date. And Boys from Brazil, I mean, hardly ever, that was a one-off film. But yes, I am. Boys from Brazil, a lot of people remember. In that film, Boys from Brazil. And I'd forgotten to tell people when it came out that I was in it. And people would be sitting in the cinema and they go, oh, that's Linda, because everybody had, let's say, these little vignettes in it. But I think the horror movies, just because they're such a popular, they're popular. And they can be reshown. And, of course, a lot of my movies, even Baby Love and things, are shown very early hours of the morning. And I always know when my movies have been on at night, because I go out shopping or do something, and they look at me down the street and you think, they were up to 3 o'clock last night, they've obviously see me on the television.
Let's take you back in time. Time Life presents the 80s collection. The ultimate smash hits of a spectacular decade. Start your 80s collection now with super hits on 2 CDs for just $9.99. That's a saving of £6 off our regular price. Order by credit card and you'll also receive this double CD absolutely free. That's 4 CDs for only $9.99. Relive the spirit of the 80s with Nick Kershaw. Wham! Culture Club and many more. Enjoy over 2 hours of the chart-breaking hits that you love to hear. Then audition other double albums from the 80s collection with no obligation to buy. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. 30 super hits of the 80s on 2 CDs. Call the number on your screen to start your 80s collection with super hits for just $9.99. Order by credit card and you'll receive this free bonus CD. That's 54 hits on 4 CDs for just $9.99. Call now or order online at timelife.co.uk.
How long can you wait? Well, this man, who studied waiting in Stuttgart for 7 years and had to wait for 3 years before he started the course, so he knows waiting. No. I think for this young man, there's... Oh, cooey.
Yes! He's down! He's down! Fat pigeon! Apple!
You know when you've been tangoed.
New Blockbuster Online will deliver all your DVDs to your door for a single monthly fee. It's like having the UK's biggest rental store in your own home. Blockbuster, bringing entertainment home. Log on now and your first month's rentals are free.
All it takes is one wrong turn.
Sweetheart.
Wrong Turn on DVD and video now.
The following film has a PG rating and should not disturb a child aged around 8 or older. However, parents are advised to consider whether the content may upset younger or more sensitive children.
Green King IPA. Could you say no to another?
For the first time, the stories of the world's greatest book are brought to life in one timeless collection on video and DVD. Time Life presents the Bible. Start your collection by following one man who has changed the world like no other, Jesus. Experience the drama, the intrigue, the joy and pain of this epic production starring Gary Oldman, Jacqueline Bisset and Jeremy Sisto. Learn about his life, the miracles he performed, his death and the giving of his life to save mankind. Start your Bible collection by calling the number on your screen now to order your first title, Jesus, on DVD. But that's not all. Pay by credit card and you'll also receive a bonus DVD, Moses, absolutely free. Starring the Academy Award-winning Ben Kingsley as Moses in this awe-inspiring tale of an ordinary man called upon by God to become a great leader.
The Lord God of Israel bids you, let his people go.
In this special TV offer, you'll get 2 DVDs and over 6 hours of epic film for just $9.99. Then preview other titles in this unique collection with no obligation to buy. Starring Paul Mercurio in Joseph, Richard Harris as Abraham, and watch Dennis Hopper, Dame Diana Rigg and Liz Hurley in Samson and Delilah, the powerful tale of a deception that brought down an empire.
If I told you the truth, you could not test me. To test me is to destroy me.
Start your Bible collection with Jesus for the special price of $9.99. Pay by credit card and you'll also receive a bonus DVD, Moses, absolutely free. That's 2 epic films for just $9.99. Call the number on your screen now or order online at timelife.co.uk.
More people with sensitive teeth rely on Sensodyne than any other sensitive toothpaste. And now, with a great new fresh taste, there's new Sensodyne Total Care Extra Fresh. Sensodyne, the UK's favourite sensitive toothpaste.
One of the greatest horror movies ever made. Alien, the director's cut. Own the terrifying 2-disc special edition DVD.
We're doing everything we possibly can. Tomorrow we're going to see the governor.
Oh, he's a wonderful man.
Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never coming around. I'm not alone.
Time Live Music brings you The Power of Love. 24 sensual hits by original artists. Get The Power of Love, 24 sensual songs on 2 CDs for the great price of $14.99. And when you pay by credit card, you'll receive a second double CD, Breathless, absolutely free. You'll enjoy artists like Cyndi Lauper, Rod Stewart, Mr. Mister, and many more. But that's not all. Call and we'll cut £6 off our regular price. Pay by credit card and you'll also receive a second double CD free. That's 2 double CDs for only $8.99. Then audition other Power of Love albums with no obligation to buy. Remember, the Power of Love is not sold in shops. It's only available from Time Life. Call the number on your screen now to start your Power of Love collection for only $8.99. Pay by credit card and you'll receive a second double CD absolutely free. That's almost £30 value for only $8.99. Call now or order online at timelife.co.uk.
On y va.
Coming up next on the Horror Channel, Sacred Flesh.
Green King IPA. Could you say no to another?
The biggest names in comedy. Mark Lawrence, Chris Tucker, Jamie Foxx are in the house. Chris Rock, D.L. Hughley, Steve Harvey, on stage, Bill Bellamy, Subject Entertainer, and more are coming to you uncut, uncensored, and bam! Def Comedy Jam has never been available in the UK to own on DVD or video.
Make some noise.
Came to the Def Jam, huh?
But now you can own this sensational hit series that has sold over 2 million copies in the USA.
See, I'm a single mother. I don't know where the daddy is. That's why I keep watching America's Most Wanted.
You don't understand. Yes, we do understand. Order online for this exclusive offer and get the first volume of Def Comedy Jam for the special price of only $8.99.
We're gonna do black stuff this week, honey.
Boom!
That ain't all, man.
That's right. And when you pay by credit card, we'll send you 2 Raw for TV absolutely free. We're back. Outrageous Def Comedy Jam performances that were so hot, they couldn't even be shown on US TV.
I'm blessed.
Then every month, preview another Best of the Def Comedy Jam, bringing you killer performances from today's comedy legends.
Pow, pow, pow.
I feel real good, boy. Keep only the ones you want.
Do you trust me?
Woo! Cancel anytime.